You're watching the Press Club right here on DBS. Our guest tonight, Laura Jean-Pierre, host of Newsmaker Live. You were telling us before the break how pleased you are, you know, about doing your show. In fact, before you went there, I would have asked you, well, what time do you get ready? At what time do you start getting ready? What time do you, how do you choose what to wear? When do you choose what to wear?
Oh my gosh, sometimes, Earl, it's like a whirlwind. I come from work and I haven't had the forethought, or I was so busy I didn't put out something to wear, and I'm rushing because I have to get up to Castries for 8:30. Well, I try to get here for 7:30 to get myself organized and settled in.
From where?
I work in the south.
Okay.
So way down south. So I have to, that's about an hour and a half, Mom. I promise it takes me about an hour and a half to get up to Castries. I promise, Daddy. It takes me an hour and a half. So I have to time that, and sometimes I'm not ready in terms of what I'm going to wear. I'm not the girly girl type of person, so what I wear is the last thing I think about. But it has to be just right, especially if I'm talking about a theme like this month. It was so interesting because we had International Women's Day, and the color for that was purple, so I tried to stick with that. And then we had, directly after that, we had World Kidney Day, and the color for that was green, you know. And on that particular, it's interesting because on last Wednesday, I completely forgot, and I did not put something out. Whatever I had put out was not green. And as soon as I'm putting it on me, I'm like, oh, but that's not green. I want to wear green. And I'm going through, and my room is a mess because I'm throwing things all over the place because I cannot find the one green shirt that I have. But that's how I prepare. But in terms of my content, I start preparing from the show. Like, I'm on the show and somebody calls and says something and it sparks an interest or an idea in me, and I start working from that. This month I was prepared from January because I know that every March 8th is International Women's Day, and I wanted to focus on women in a different kind of a way. So I wanted to highlight our ups and our downs, our successes, our first ladies, which I did one of our first ladies last week. So, you know, I knew for March I was prepared in advance. But sometimes you get the one-off things. You know, somebody says, I want to appear on your show, but you have something already scheduled, and then you have to weigh, okay, how much time?
How do you try to please everybody?
How do you try to please everybody? And I'm a pleaser. I really am. I really am a pleaser. How do you try to please everybody? But how do you prepare for that? Even if you were to get the person into the slot, but how do you prepare and have the subject matter right at your fingertips so that you can interview the person? And I don't really like, I think one of the things that have endeared me to the public is that I don't really like to interview. I'm not an interviewer, I'm a talker. So I have a conversation with my guests.
What do you get most out of your exchanges with your callers?
Oh boy, it's a mixed bag. It depends on the topic. So sometimes I will get the little digs. In the beginning, oh my gosh, it was hilarious because everybody thought I was just this sucker raving mad woman who just was opinionated and just came out there and just had a say on everything, and they didn't understand me. And for me, that was hilarious because I knew.
You may not be raging, but you have a say on everything.
Oh well, it's kind of in my DNA. It's kind of in my DNA. But you know, you get that. And then for me, it's hilarious because I'm laughing inside because they don't know me. They don't know the Laura Jean-Pierre that I have been fortunate enough to know all these years and to live in her skin. So they don't know that. So it takes a little time. And now, you know, you get the regular callers and they tell you, and
you meet the people like at dinner?
Yes.
Because I often say to colleagues, that's my pay.
Yeah.
Being told that I like what you read, I like what you said, I like what you did, you know, I like what you wrote, or I don't. I disagree.
Even then, and you know what? I love it even more when they tell me, you know what? I love you, but I disagree with what you said.
That's more important to us.
Yes, because that's how you grow. That's how you get to have other viewpoints. Now, sometimes you may actually change your viewpoint because you didn't maybe factor something in and somebody brought that into you.
And Mr. Joe or Joan Public has given you a perspective that you never got at school or in a book or anywhere else.
And sometimes it just strengthens your resolve and say, oh, you know what, I know I'm right based on what you're saying there. Because that doesn't evoke, or when I read up on it, doesn't evoke or it doesn't come out the way you're explaining it. And it gives you even the impetus to want to educate. Now, I never look at myself as a teacher. I'm not the most patient person. But when I speak with people, they tell me, you know, are you a teacher? Were you a teacher? I think I'm the old school. If I were a teacher, I would be the old school kind of teacher.
So do you see yourself having a role in the society as a talk show host?
Absolutely. I have now come to the point where I don't necessarily see myself not doing this. And I think it would be very sad for me not to be able to do this. And I have some grandiose ideas. I hope I'm around long enough to be able to share it with St. Lucia, and different ways or different avenues I would like to see media and talk shows go into. So hopefully sometime soon we will get to that point.
In fact, as we talk about influencing the you know, where we go as a media, not only with talk shows but as a media fraternity, many people still don't know the difference between a reporter and a journalist, or between the press and the media. These fine things need to be explained, but as an entity, as what is euphemistically described as the fourth estate, the press, the media, the journalists, the camera people, the media body, do you see us as an entity operating as we can, as we should? Are you satisfied with the fraternity operating within itself and seeing about itself?
Well, I mean, I'm new, so I mean, maybe the last person to have come in. I mean, so my viewpoint will be very limited in scope. I mean, in terms of, as opposed to you who've been in it all your life. But I think I've observed media practitioners, and I say media practitioners to encompass
generally,
all of us,
everybody.
Right? I've seen the way we operate, and sometimes it's very the camaraderie is there. I know of people who share information, you know, oh, I wasn't able to go to this press conference. Do you have the footage? And they will give it to you because, you know, they think it's important for the public consumption. And so I love that. I love that. I'm sure that there will be times where you're trying to get the scoop. You know what I mean? You want to be the only person. You want to have that exclusive, and you'll guard that jealously. But once you have it already, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't want to share information. So I see that happening. I think there's a lot more we can do in terms of how we present ourselves to the public and to stepping up our game. When you look at international shows and you look at even the news, the way we present the news, the way we dress, our facial expression. Now that's totally different if you're reading the news to what we do as talk show hosts. You could have all the expression and you could be as animated, but when you're doing the news, you're almost
you're a news presenter.
So you're almost kind of in a straitjacket. The lines are very defined for you. People look at you. You have to be well put together. You know, a lot of the times you see people, they look like they're...
People have to want to stay on that channel.
Exactly, exactly. and not think about what's she doing, or why is he wearing that tie? Why doesn't he not wear a tie? Why does he speak that way? Why does she change her, you know, put her mouth in this contortions? You want people to hear what you're saying, to spark an interest, to be educated as a news presenter. Now, as a talk show host, it's a totally different ball game. You define really your element, your area, your space, and people come to they get used to that, and they come to expect that. And so if you do something out of the box, they're like, what happened to her? Why she's doing this? You know, why did she do it this way? I'm not used to that. Or you throw them for a loop, but it's more acceptable. So I think we have to understand, a lot of us carry, we're TV presenters and talk show hosts. And so we wear different hats, and we have to know how to get out of one mold and get into the other.
Folks, you're watching The Press Club right here on DBS. We'll take our final break. When we come back, I'll try to find out a little bit more about the other Laura that only Laura has known so far, because only her has been living within that, Laura. And of course, we could look at some issues, women's issues, and of course, in keeping with your post or your letter.
Yes.
In a while, we'll look
Yes.
at a little politics. We'll be right
Absolutely.
back.